Tyler Perry hates black women, and I'm not saying allegedly because the proof is in the pudding.
I don't know if Tyler Perry doesn't like black women or doesn't give a damn about black women or thinks he knows black women, but these storylines that he's concocting that's supposed to be the story of black women are so idiotic. I cannot take it anymore.
Literally run the entire episode for him and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry on the spot starts rewriting the entire script and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not...
Taraji P. Henson just dropped a powerful statement that's got the internet buzzing. She's defending Tyler Perry. Yes, that Tyler Perry, even though she openly admits his films often leave her deeply shaken. The man behind Medea has built an empire, but there's one recurring theme in nearly all his stories. Black women, heartbroken, betrayed, beaten down, struggling at rock bottom. And then, maybe, just maybe, being rescued by a humble, blue-collar man. It's a formula we've seen over and over again. So, the question is, why is Taraji still standing by him, especially when she confesses that acting in these roles sometimes leaves her emotionally traumatized? Let's be honest. Why do so many Tyler Perry films feel like emotional horror stories for black women? Critics have long taken issue with this narrative. One went so far as to say that every single one of his films, from Diary of a Mad Black Woman to Acrimony, follows the exact same painful blueprint. And now, with his latest film, The Strays, starring Taraji herself, many are saying, enough is enough.
I'm a little offended, and honestly, I'm still recovering from mea culpa. He has managed to make billions of dollars. Looking at you too, Issa Rae. One of them days, really? Where's our Legally Blonde? Where's our Pretty Woman? It is becoming more evident that Tyler only sees black women as hardworking, struggling, great victims that, of course, one day are going to be rescued by a blue-collared black.
After watching that trailer, audiences had one reaction. Yeah, I'm good on this. Taraji P. Henson is standing by Tyler Perry, but her support has sparked a serious conversation, especially among black women. Many are now asking, what is she doing and why is she still backing him? Let's take a closer look. Why does Tyler Perry seem so focused on portraying black women in constant pain? And why has Taraji continued to support him, despite how heavy those roles can be? For years, Tyler Perry has been hailed as Hollywood's rags to riches icon. He built his empire from the ground up and he proudly sold the American dream. In his docu-style film, Maxine's Baby, he framed his life as the ultimate success story. But behind the wigs, the gospel choirs, and the emotional climaxes, there's one pattern that keeps repeating. Black women must suffer. One critic summed it up best, calling it a pain-first formula, and when the trailer for The Strays dropped, people noticed. They weren't excited, they were exhausted. In just the first 30 minutes of the movie, Taraji's character loses everything. She gets evicted, fired, her child is taken by CPS, her car is towed, she's robbed at work, she kills her boss, and then robs a bank. It's a lot, and audiences didn't hold back. Comments flooded in. Not just about the writing, but about Perry's entire approach to telling black women's stories. More and more viewers are calling him out, saying his films aren't uplifting. They're trauma-filled narratives disguised as empowerment. And it's raising a real question. Is this storytelling or emotional exploitation?
These people exist and they need to see themselves and they need to know that they're not alone and that people do see them.
People tell Tyler Perry to stop showing those women on camera.
I think that's their own trauma's triggered. Because in the community, black community, we don't deal with it. You know what I mean? So if you're forced to look at it often, you will be triggered. And I, in particular, I am drawn to characters who are voiceless and need a voice because I am such a big personality. I like to breathe right into those characters because I feel like...
In Temptation, one bad decision, and the character ends up with HIV. In Acrimony, Taraji's character gives everything to a man, only to be left behind the moment he strikes it rich. She's humiliated, alone, forgotten. And why did I get married? That story doesn't offer much relief either. Now, people are saying, enough is enough. Viewers are tired of watching black women dragged through emotional torment, just to drive home a moral lesson. And they're wondering, why does Taraji keep defending this pattern? Especially when she herself has admitted these roles take an emotional toll. Something's not adding up. Take Sheila's story. For example, she's cheated on, mocked for her weight, and only finds love after she loses it. Then there's Angela, loud, angry, and always portrayed as emasculating. The stereotype couldn't be clearer. Even Taraji acknowledges the issue, but critics argue that's exactly the problem. If the only time black women see themselves on screen is in pain, what message does that send? Now let's rewind for a moment. While audiences are watching The Strays and ready to cancel Tyler Perry again, Taraji, she's not backing down. She's standing by him like family at a backyard cookout. Firm, loyal, unshaken. In her eyes, these stories matter. She told The Breakfast Club, these roles mean something. And she even explained why she thinks so many black women are angry about Tyler Perry's work. Her point? Don't blame Tyler for the pain. Blame the culture that told you to bury it. For her, it's about giving voice to the voiceless. She's drawn to characters who are trapped in silence, who carry pain no one sees. But here's where it gets even messier. While Taraji is defending the art, Tyler Perry's name is getting dragged through the headlines, and this time, it's not just about his films. Actor Derek Dixon is now accusing Perry of something far more serious. He claims that in 2019, they met at Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. Dixon was chasing a dream, fame, roles, mentorship, and allegedly, Perry promised it all. But there was a catch. What happened next sounds like something straight out of a scandal sheet. According to a lawsuit, Perry allegedly cornered him on set, pressed him up against a trailer wall, touched him inappropriately, and questioned him about his personal preferences right there on the Oval set. And when Derek says he refused, the threats began. He claims Perry made it clear, if he didn't play along, his character would be written out of the next season. Now the internet is watching closely, because while Taraji defends Tyler, Perry's art is bold and necessary storytelling, he's facing accusations that reach far beyond the screen. It's a storm, and every move is under the spotlight.
If we have a disagreement about the way the scene should go, I'm gonna go, okay, let's try it my way, and we'll try it your way, and we'll see which one works, but mine always wins out.
Because he has the control of the editing room.
That's exactly right.
I'm grateful for this person for showing me how not to be. When you're the boss, how not to be. You don't sexually harass your employees. You don't pressure them, bully them, try to intimidate them into what you want.
Every raise that I've gotten and whenever I'm treated the best in this industry, it's always by.
And that's exactly what happened. Derek's character walked away from the show, not for creative reasons, but to escape the alleged harassment. He even turned down an opportunity to write for Tyler Perry's projects. Why, he said it, was the only way to protect his peace. Meanwhile, Perry's legal team is firing back. They're calling the lawsuit nothing more than a shakedown, claiming Derek got close to Tyler just to set him up. Perry himself is standing firm. He says he won't be extorted. But here's the twist. This isn't the first time people have raised concerns about his behavior on set. Multiple actors have come forward, claiming Perry rules with intimidation, not collaboration, that he changes lines at the last minute, scraps entire scenes, even rewrites full scripts on the spot, and everyone is expected to just roll with it. Even Tyler admits it, he's controlling. Taraji didn't shy away from the truth either. She laid it all out. Tyler writes, directs, produces, edits, he runs the entire show, top to bottom. At this point, the question has to be asked, is this a director or a dictator with Final Cut Pro? And Derek isn't alone in speaking up. Just look at what actor Christian Key had to say about working under Perry. Critics argue, this is exactly why the films keep repeating the same trauma-filled narrative. There's no space for fresh voices, no room for authentic black women's stories, only Tyler's blueprint, a cycle of pain, copied and pasted from one movie to the next. And despite the growing backlash, the harassment lawsuits, the recycled storylines, even the claim that he blacklisted legends like Monique, Taraji is still promoting the strays like nothing's wrong. In fact, she told The Breakfast Club that Perry doubled her rate for the role. Let's not forget, Taraji has been very open about feeling undervalued in this industry. She's spent years fighting to be paid what she's worth. And on one hand, Tyler Perry is one of the few actually cutting her a real check in a business that still underpays black women. But on the other hand, she openly admits these trauma-heavy roles leave her feeling broken. So while Taraji keeps insisting that Tyler's movies give a voice to the voiceless, many black women are stepping back and asking, at what cost? It's messy, it's complicated, and it has everyone talking, because the truth is, not every black woman is suffering. In fact, many are thriving. But here's the problem. If all people ever see on screen are broken, bitter black women, what are they supposed to believe about real life? And it hits even harder when you ask the deeper question. What are we teaching the next generation? That their worth only comes through struggle? Through pain? That's what has everyone paying attention.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over.
Who's going to tell Tyler Perry that black women are no longer suffering? It's about time that this narrative that Tyler Perry has needs to stop. Because black women are embracing ease, softness, luxury, therapy, healing. We are embracing a different life, and it's about time the representation of us change as well.
And here's where things get even more complicated. As one critic bluntly put it in Tyler Perry's world, the only time his characters find redemption is when some blue-collar man swoops in to save them. That trope, it's not just tired, it's harmful. It's been done to death. Even the Boondocks roasted it years ago, and now, people are saying enough is enough. Black Twitter hasn't held back. One viral post read, "The black community is in a toxic relationship with Tyler Perry. Let him go." And Reddit isn't staying silent either. One user wrote, "As a black man, I feel like Tyler Perry's films are just stereotypes on camera, with no depth or real appeal, unless you like basic stuff." Another called his latest show an embarrassment, claiming it trades dignity for cheap laughs at the expense of the very people it's supposed to uplift. Here's the real issue. In Perry's movies, there's always redemption for black men. The abusive husband gets replaced by the hard-working good guy. The man gets a second chance. But what about the black women? Where's their joy? Without being dragged through heartbreak, humiliation, and trauma first. This time, people aren't letting it slide. The message is loud and clear. That strong black woman stereotype Tyler keeps writing, it doesn't celebrate resilience. It strips away humanity. It's not empowerment, it's punishment. Black women are shown as endlessly tough, never allowed to rest, never allowed to win, just locked in constant struggle. So while Taraji is out here publicly defending Tyler, the streets have real questions. Why is he so obsessed with portraying black women in pain? And when, if ever, is he going to show them winning? And if anyone's truly confused by Taraji's loyalty, it's Mo_NIQUE. Because that drama goes way back. Over a decade deep with receipts, messier than a Facebook baby daddy reveal. The beef is personal. The criticism is sharp, and the demand for change is getting louder by the day. Botna K has long claimed Tyler blackballed her, all because she refused to do unpaid international press for Precious. According to her, Tyler, Oprah, and Lee Daniels labeled her difficult to work with, and that label cost her millions. She didn't hold back, and when people asked if Tyler ever apologized, Monique was clear, only Lee Daniels did. Tyler's still silent. And here's a twist most people don't know. Monique was actually offered the role of Cookie on Empire. Yup. Lee Daniels called her personally first to offer it. Then, to take it back, the part ultimately went to Taraji. And rumor has it, Tyler Perry pulled strings behind the scenes to make that happen. Because let's be honest, Cookie didn't just elevate Empire. She catapulted Taraji to a whole new level. So, now, years later, Monique is watching Taraji publicly defend the very man who may have played a role in sidelining her career, while he's facing serious new allegations. Because this isn't just about uncomfortable questions, Perry allegedly asked Derek Dixon on set. It's about everything that's been building for years.
Cost my family tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Over a lie and a rumor.
Is he gonna he's gonna compensate you for that?
I want you to look in your camera.
Yes.
And I want you to talk to Tyler Perry because you heard what that man said. So ask him, will he compensate my family for that?
Tyler, will you come on Club Shay Shay and let's have a conversation about the fair compensation?
Because Cookie from the show Empire, I was offered that role. Now Taraji tore it up, baby. Listen here. However, I was offered that. Then Felita called me back and say, baby girl, they said you too difficult to work with. But you hear on the audio that a man told David Talbot I was difficult to work with.
According to the lawsuit, in 2021, at Tyler Perry's own home, he allegedly pulled down Derek Dixon's underwear and touched him inappropriately. Dixon says he froze in fear. It's a disturbing claim, and you can see why Monique is left speechless. In her eyes, this isn't new behavior. She's basically saying, Tyler's been doing this for years. But what really has people stunned is the fact that Taraji P. Henson is praising him right as these serious allegations are making headlines. To Monique, it feels like déjà vu. She believes Tyler is once again using his power to harm others, just like she says he did to her, and to her career. And make no mistake, Monique didn't stay quiet. Right after the lawsuit went public, she took to Instagram with some bold words. She posted, "You get mad. Even if you get offended, so what you going to do? Because I guarantee you can't beat me up." Fans knew exactly who she was talking about. And for anyone unsure, she cleared it up a few days later with another post. Have you noticed? Women who don't tolerate disrespect, lies, manipulation, and nonsense are always labeled as difficult, toxic, crazy, bitter, and complicated. Monique is making one thing very clear. She's not backing down, and she won't let people forget what really happened. Meanwhile, Taraji's unwavering support of Tyler, even in the middle of this firestorm, has left a lot of folks scratching their heads. Because let's be honest, difficult is the same word Tyler allegedly used to convince people Monique wasn't worth hiring, and it worked. She was blackballed from the industry, shut out of major roles, left fighting to rebuild a career that should have soared. Now let's shift back to Taraji. And while we're at it, Tyler Perry too. Because despite the backlash, he hasn't stayed silent. He says his films are meant to honor the resilience of black women, that he's simply telling the truth, paying tribute to the strength of his mother, his aunties, his sisters. But here's the twist. His idea of honor often looks more like humiliation. This is the same man who once told black women they should be grateful for a man, even if all he does is pay the light. Bill. Let that sink in.
To have an opportunity to be able to paint all of these pictures in all sides of something that I'm paying homage to my mother, to my aunt, to my sisters, and friends and cousins, and the things that they all went through. So that's what I would say to that.
Tell Tyler Perry that the average black woman is actually thriving now. We pay our bills are paid. Thank you.
And the internet. It went off after that one. Critics didn't hold back. One summed it up like this: so black women are supposed to carry entire households, heal generations of trauma, and still settle for a man who brings crumbs to the table. The hypocrisy was hard to ignore. Meanwhile, Tyler Perry continues to portray black women as emotional mules, expected to save, carry, and endure, while he cashes billion-dollar checks off the back of their pain. Because in Tyler's world, a black woman can survive cheating, job loss, CPS taking her kids, eviction, public humiliation. And somehow, we're supposed to believe it's all okay, as long as a broke blue-collar man loves her at the end. That's the formula. Over and over again. He calls it representation, but critics say it's really degradation dressed up as a tribute. Because here's the question: if Tyler Perry truly loves black women, wouldn't he want to show them winning, thriving, not just barely hanging on by a thread? Now Taraji may be out here defending Tyler Perry's trauma-heavy storytelling, but if you really listen to what she says, her truth sounds a whole lot more complicated than any script he's written. In her recent Breakfast Club interview, she was raw and honest. She said she's all about protecting her peace now. No more chaos. No more energy-draining people. She made it clear, if you're not on your own healing journey, she's not going to walk beside you. That's real talk. She even broke down her new personal rule before she agrees to anything: a party, a trip, even dinner. She stops and asks herself one question: is it worth it? And if the answer isn't a full, clear yes, she stays home with her Frenchies, her wine, and her peace. And the best part? She doesn't feel the need to explain her no anymore. As Michelle Obama once told her, no is a complete sentence. It's clear Taraji is walking her own path, healing, protecting her space, choosing herself. But still, many fans can't help but wonder, if she knows how damaging these stories can be, why is she defending Tyler Perry so hard, especially now?
Be glorified. I don't care if a man is a good man. That doesn't mean that he's the right man for you. Maybe I, as a woman, don't want to be the primary breadwinner. Is that okay? Am I allowed to say that I want a provider? So it's funny to me how women are always expected to settle and meet a man where he is and just look at a man's heart, but they look at your face. They look at your body. Just the other day, I posted a video about this guy that was like, oh man, she's perfect when you're loved the right way by the wrong woman. She just doesn't look the way I want her to look. Oh man.
Those people who think that my films focus on the struggle of black women, because they're right, it does. I'm in doing this, let me tell you something. If I get an opportunity to put a black woman on screen for people to see them in love, in happy, in joy, in pain, in struggle, what I'm doing is a service to all people, so that people will know that the black women are not just strong and one thing. They are all things, and they go through all of these things.
Taraji also opened up about reaching her breaking point. Before she took her first solo trip to Bali, she says she was losing herself, burned out, bitter, and constantly complaining. She had to unplug. She had to go find the real Taraji, the one she left behind in Hollywood's chaos. But here's where the irony hits hard. If Taraji says she's done with unhealed people, then why is she still working so closely with Tyler Perry? Let's be honest, he's not exactly giving healed man energy right now. Not with all these heavy accusations swirling around him. Taraji calls him her brother, her biggest supporter, the man who doubled her pay. But people can't help but ask, is that paycheck really worth the emotional toll? That's the question, stirring all this debate, because behind Tyler Perry's gospel anthems and his talk of honoring black women's resilience, critics say there's something much darker at play. They say he's obsessed with showing black women broken, beaten, down, violated, humiliated, or worse. To them, it's a toxic mix of internalized misogyny, patriarchy, and old-school punishment narratives. And just think about his storylines. In Perry's world, suffering becomes a kind of spiritual cleanse. A woman cheats. She gets HIV. A woman sacrifices for a man's dream. He leaves her and she loses her mind. A single mom fights to survive. CPS takes her kids and her life crumbles in shame. It's like Tyler truly believes that black women only earn love after they've been dragged through the mud. Sure, he calls it redemption, but here's the twist. That redemption almost always belongs to the men. The abusive guy gets replaced by the good man. The struggling man finally succeeds. Meanwhile, the black woman, she's left carrying the weight. Generational trauma, poverty, heartbreak, only to be saved by a man who barely pays the light bill and calls it salvation. People see what's happening, and they're done. Critics say Tyler Perry has turned black women's trauma into a billion-dollar franchise. And now, that empire is starting to crack. Because while the lawsuits stack up, Monique's old feud with Perry is heating up again. Black women are raising their voices louder than ever. They're calling it what it is: exploitation. A dangerous pattern of turning their pain into profit. And the message is clear. It's time to stop showing black women barely surviving. Start showing them winning. Stop treating their suffering like a shortcut to success. Because beneath every media wig and behind every choir-filled climax, there's a man who built his entire empire off the backs of black women's pain. And here's the wild part. That same pain could be the reason he loses everything. So let's talk about it. Do you believe Tyler Perry truly loves black women, like he says? Or is he just addicted to showing them broken, so he can keep cashing those billion-dollar checks? And what about Taraji? Is she defending his vision? Or defending the only paycheck in Hollywood that finally pays her what she's worth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get into it, and don't forget to check out the next video, because I've got even more tea on Hollywood's darkest secrets. That'll leave you shook.